Hello, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours here on Voices. I'm just going to give a few moments here for folks to file in. Of course, we are right at the 4 o'clock hour Eastern Time here in Ontario, just outside Kitchener, Ontario, as a matter of fact, where I am. My name is Andrew. I am the community manager here at Voices. The community manager is, of course, the person behind the blog section comments, behind the social media mentions, behind some of the content creation, as well as the moderator of our new community forum. A reminder, if you are a member of the Voices team or a member of Voices at all, if you're signed up for a guest account or a premium account, or no matter where you are, you can go to that forum at any time, meet with some of the folks in our community, learn more about whatever you'd like, all kinds of different topics. Basically, anything we do on the platform, we talk about it on the community forum. That is community.voices.com. You can go there, get all kinds of questions answered from real professionals, from folks that use the platform, that have enjoyed the platform and have answers to all kinds of questions. It's home office hours this week, not in the office, but this is the new reality, and a bit of the reality for folks who do voiceover work from home. Even before this world-altering pandemic, a lot of folks would record from their home offices, people in closets. You would be surprised how many of our top talent do their recording in their closet. I was talking to somebody today who has booked nearly 1,000 jobs through Voices, and they record out of their closet. So home office hours, it is all the same. Once again, my name is Andrew Zuber. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am the community manager, and joining me today, moderating this discussion in the chat with you, is Julia. She'll be providing links and making sure you can find all of the things that we are going to discuss today. The topic today for office hours is standing out in search. And the reason that I am hosting this week, and the reason that we picked this topic, is, as I mentioned, I am privy to being on the other side of a lot of the social media mentions, a lot of the questions that get asked in the forum, a lot of people, and a lot of the questions sort of do get, they're sort of in a similar way. People want to know, obviously everybody's trying to book jobs. You want to book more jobs. Everyone from beginners with guest accounts to the seasoned pros who are platinum level folks who have booked 1,000 jobs. They're all focused on one thing with Voices, and that is booking jobs. That is the whole point. And starting out, it can be very difficult and hard to sort of get to that point. And the first thing you have to do is learn how to stand out in search. I am very lucky. We have a great team here. I have pressed so many people in the company for answers. So I'm going to have some direct answers straight from the folks who have built the platform, who work on the platform, who perfected the platform, as well as a ton of pros. There's a ton of great advice in here. So hopefully you will stick along and by the end of this, really learn what booking agents are looking for, what casting directors are looking for, and what you should be looking for in your own voice and in your own profiles to get yourself ahead of the game and to really stand out in search. So basically, how do you do it? How do you stand out? Because there are so many different talents out there, so many different applicants with different backgrounds, different skill sets, and different levels of experience. Today, we are going to talk about the Voices search system. We're going to go through how it works. We're going to how to make sure that you get included in the results and how to beef up your chances once you're in that flow. How do you stand out? How do you beef up your shot at getting noticed among the crowd? I'm sure you will probably have questions. We also had some questions sent in on social media earlier. In the back half of this show, we will get to Q&A. I'm going to talk for 20 minutes to about a half an hour about standing out in search and building a profile. If anything comes to your mind, just throw it there in the chat, and we will address it at the back end as well, as I said, with those social media questions. And before we start, if I am moving too quickly or I make a point that you're interested in and want to be expanded on a little bit more at a later date and you have some time, I absolutely cannot recommend enough checking out the Voices Talent Help page. It's an incredible resource. It gives you all kinds of information and answers, hundreds of questions about our processes, how things work, why things work a certain way, voices.com/help/talent. It's really, really an incredible resource. I'm in there every day, as I've been here for about 3 months. I'm in there every single day, learning new things. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this, and we'll start off just talking about the Voices search engine, how it works, and sort of what the search engine itself looks for in your profiles to get you at the top of that list. Now, before we get into what should be in your profile, let's just get into how it works. To put it into one sentence, the Voices search engine is driven by the contents of your profile and your audio demo profile files. So what you put in your profile is what fuels the search engine. It's going to come up a lot today, so I'm probably going to repeat myself on this. Excuse me if I do, but the number one thing, the first thing you should be thinking about and doing is making sure you are filling in your entire profile, completely complete. If there is a field, put something in it. It's the most important thing you can do. If you are not fully filled out in your profile, you're not going to show up, because this is a professional workspace. This is a place where the casting directors and the booking agents and the talent all take this very seriously as a career path. You need to make sure you are fully and accurately completing all of your fields. That includes description, gender, age, languages, and most importantly, your demo reels. It's not enough to just have your name and some of the things you can do. You have to also have your demo reels, because the demo reels are searchable. So the first thing that most clients and prospective job folks will see on your profile are your demos. They will come up in search just as much as they search for anything else in terms of style or language or age or gender. Your demo has all that information in it as well. So your demo is going to come up before your profile. And just like it's important, as I said there, to make sure your profile is fully complete, making sure your demo is properly tagged, making sure it includes the language you're doing, the age range. It's really important. The style, the tone, all those different things, all those different ways that you can describe what's in your demo. That's what's going to pop up when clients look for specific traits for the job they want done. They're looking for very specific things, whether it be casual, whether it be conversational. Clients know what they're looking for in terms of the style and tone. So you want to make sure that your demos have those tags that will show up in that search, if it makes sense. So if you've got a demo with your voice that is really great, a casual tone and a great delivery for a male in his 20s, for example, just off the top of my head, and it's not tagged properly, a client could go in there and have those exact traits matched out and never hear your demo because you didn't tag it properly. So filling out your profile and making a demo is one step, but properly tagging everything, making sure you're findable through just keywords. It's one thing to go through and search for your name. This is not a realistic way that a client is going to use the platform. They're looking for specific traits. Look for those traits and get yourself in those streams of search results. You can also set, if you'd like, a featured demo on your page. When you go to your profile page, it will be the first one that shows up. It's a great idea if you've started to really amass a collection of great demos and you want, to really show off one specific thing. Just know that language, category, and age range, those are all going to override your featured demo in a search if your client is looking for a specific trait. So it's a great thing if you've got a bunch of different great demos and they find them through search and then they come to your profile and they find it. That's a great use for featured demo, but you're going to want to make a bunch of different demos for all your different skills. So you can show up in search with each one of those things, because those quick demos are going to be the first thing that get listened to when they approach you for a job or they want to book you. It'll be those demos and the way that they're tagged that brings that attention. Now, as I mentioned, I am on the other end of the comment sections. I'm on the other end of the social media. I'm on the other end of our forums. And I get a lot of new, really eager talent, and they reach out to me and they want to book their first job, and they really want to just get that first, hurdle passed. That's really, really important. And they don't know why they're not showing up in search. And the answer really, again, nearly all of the time, is an incomplete profile. You got to make sure you're completing your profile. Without uploading a demo, I mean, you may as well not have a profile at all, because you want to be visible to a number of results. So a good rule of thumb to have for that is to have short demos assigned to a variety of categories that you can deliver in. If you can do a younger voice and then somebody middle-aged and somebody, a little bit older, don't put those all in one demo. Make those 3 different demos so that somebody looking for one of those 3 things finds just what they're looking for. The idea of them listening for a full minute to get to the voice that they're looking for, it's just not realistic. So be mindful of that. Separate your talents, and be visible to as many different results as you possibly can while staying honest to the things that you're able to deliver. Now, once you have uploaded those demos, again, do not forget, fully complete the descriptions and the about sections. Both of those fields, searchable by keyword. So any extra adjectives, any descriptions, any way you can enrich the visibility of that search and letting a casting director know what is going to be in that demo, it helps you stand out and it helps you show up in a lot of these search terms. The actual process of uploading your demos, I don't have it in front of me, but it is very simple. You log into your account. Demos is on the left-hand column under profile. You click add demo, and then you just find the MP3 from your computer. There's a bunch of different categories and ways to describe them. Title, which is just the best way to describe your demo, whether it be commercials, real estate listings, telephone prompts, health field, however you want to do it. Just describe what's going on in that demo very succinctly in the title. Pick your language of your demo in the dropdown. I get a lot of people asking for jobs in Spanish. That's a huge thing. Make sure that you have demos in Spanish. Make sure that you're putting Spanish language in your profile, and make sure you're not, putting everything in one demo. Again, the last thing they want is to be looking for a Spanish speaker. Click on the demo and it's in English. Be specific. Give as much information as you possibly can in these descriptions. Category, choose an appropriate demo category. There's a drop-down list you can pick from there. And then it's accents, roles, and styles. And those are tags. And you can go back if you'd like and add accents, roles, styles if you sort of evolve. If you think, I didn't quite tag that as well as I could have, you can pick up to 10 languages, 30 accents, and 5 different ages for your options. And in demos, 3 accents, 5 roles, and 10 styles. So you can get pretty varied. You can do a lot of variety as long as you're able to deliver those things. That is the key to sort of showing off that versatility. If you're looking for, inspiration, I would say, on how to build your profile out, take a look at our directory page. You can get a really good idea of the terms and descriptions that are being searched and are being used. Voices.com/voice actors, categories, accents, styles, roles, even locations. That's all stuff that clients look for across their projects. People are putting in projects all over the place. So they could be looking for Midwestern United States, Florida, New York, Canadian, American. There's an infinite amount of different places and locations. We got more than 500 categories, roles, and styles. So don't be afraid. Again, get specific and creative with the things you can provide as long as you're able to provide them. So what's all that for, right? Why all that tagging? Why all that information? Very simple. It goes into what we call our voice match system. Voice match is what we use to pre-decide and pre-filter what traits match our talent to what the clients are looking for. It considers all the things you have in your bio and all the tags you have on your demo and matches them to the list of clients looking for those things in particular jobs. This is what makes it so important to fill those things out, right? So you can have a fully filled out bio and none of your demos are tagged. You're never going to score highly in voice match because there's not enough information for you to match up and you're not going to show up. So here are the attributes. This is inside baseball information, but this is the stuff you have to know to make sure that you are showing up in these searches. From your bio, it searches language, accent, voice age, and gender. I'll say that again: language, accent, voice age, and gender from your bio. And out of your demos, the category, the language, the accent, the role, style A, and style B. So put some styles, all that adds up to 100. You can see lots of crossover things there, right? Accent was in both of them, language are in both of them. And that's why it's so important to put the tags on both your bio and your demo. If you can do them in both, you're basically doubling the amount of places that you can get caught in that net and get yourself into the running for some of these jobs. Once again, fully complete your bio, tag every single one of your demos, get all of that stuff done. It is the number one thing holding back folks from showing up and standing out in search. Another way to expand those scores, as I mentioned, upload many demos, as many as it takes to showcase all the different things you can do. Be thoughtful and don't add things that don't actually reflect you. The last thing you want to do as a professional is match up to a high score with your demo and then not actually be able to do the thing that you scored highly on. It would be like me saying that I can do a French accent when I cannot do a French accent. As a voice actor, the business is selling skills, and promising something you can't deliver is a red flag for your reputation. Casting directors, booking agents, they're busy people, and wasting their time in that way in representing yourself, being able to do something that you can't do, not a great look for you, and it is not going to help you get further just because you have sort of all these things that you're promising if you can't actually do them. If you want to learn more about Voice Match, how it works, you can check out our website, voices.com/company/technology/voice match. You get under the hood a little bit there and read a ton about that. So to review that little thing, just straight up how search works, fill everything out, tag everything. Everything should be filled out and tagged with your categories, your styles, your language, your accent, your voice age, your gender, your location, your speaking styles. Is it conversational? Are you engaging? Are you doing a Texas accent? That all that stuff matters, especially when it comes to your demos, because that is going to be what represents you. A well-made profile is a great thing to have, but your demos need to be on point. Without the demos, again, when you're looking for voice work, your voice is pretty important. So your demos have to represent you in a great way. So we will say we've established you have to fill everything out and get everything set up to actually be caught in the search. So now what do? You got your foot in the door. Let's look at how you can actually kick that door down and get yourself noticed by some of these clients and start booking some of these jobs. So we're going to talk about right now your talent portfolio, the thing that you are presenting to the world on your Voices profile page. And I want to start with a quote that I really love. And this is from Sandra Osborne. She is a talent here at Voices. She has been with us for 4 years and has booked 500 jobs. It gives you an idea. This is a pro who knows what they're talking about. And Sandra said, regarding your profile is your business card and portfolio all in one. Make sure people know all about you. Tell us what experience you have, give descriptions of your voice, some of the work you've done, and why clients would want to work with you. Do you do quick turnaround? Do you have a really interesting resume? Do you have a unique voice? Think about it from the perspective of the client about what makes you employable and memorable. I think that is such an informative quote. You introduce yourself to prospective clients in a succinct way and showcase yourself and your skills. I think there is this idea that there's one thing you can do to be successful at this, when the reality is there's a ton of different styles and a ton of different ways to present yourself. The things that make you uniquely you will be what sets you apart, because voiceover ultimately is a performance. And like all creative arts and all performances, what clients are looking for or interested in is highly subjective. What makes you unique? What experience do you have? What can you bring to the table that adds value to your performances? You can point out those traits in your profile. That is a great start. And demos that highlight those qualities, that's the ticket to standing out from the crowd, is having those demos that can bring what makes you you into your audio. I know it sounds difficult, but it's something you're going to have to practice. If creating demos for the first time and you don't know what to include, operate under the impression that the client isn't familiar with you or your work, and you have to show them the very best you have to offer out of the gate. Your very best work should be at the very top. And I think this can be a bit of a pitfall. We talked earlier about representing yourself properly. Another thing that's really important to learn at this stage while you're building your demos and trying to land those first gigs, it's very natural when you're young and hungry and you're new at this. You want to book every single role. You want everything to come to you. You want whatever it takes to land one job. You will do everything. And something that is really important, not only at the start of your journey, but throughout your career, is the ability to listen to your own work and analyze your strengths and weaknesses. I was just today talking to two talent that have combined to book like 1,500 jobs, I think, on voices, and they, 10 years each experience doing voiceover work. We're talking about times when in the moment they were convinced they had absolutely nailed a read, and they listened to it back the next day and were like, what was I doing? That ability to be honest with yourself, to listen to your voice and know where you need to make improvements and where you're strong is really important. You know what niche you're most suited for. You know what types of performances, what types of material, what types of experience or accents you can connect with, because it's voice acting. It's not just talking. You have to be able to bring the material to life. You have to bring characters to life. You have to really understand where you're going with your reads and deliver what the project calls for. It's another part of it is understanding that you're selling a service. You are selling your ability to help your clients create exactly what they want. So you want to be playing to your strengths, especially to start. And I understand it can be difficult. You come on these sites, you come on voices.com and you go to our top 100 actors and you see they've worked with every company you can imagine under the sun, sports leagues and soft drinks and cars and all kinds of stuff. And you say, I haven't done any of this. How am I going to build a demo? I don't have any work. We have a portfolio of sample scripts on our website you can use to record demos if you don't have your own professional work. Just get in there and start recording your voice, even if you are a year away from starting. Get in there and start playing with your voice. Start learning how to control your voice. Start learning how to listen back to your work. Give yourself a note and then incorporate that note, because that is also part of this craft. If you think your voice and range lend itself to a movie trailer or instructional material, record yourself reading that until you produce a take that you're happy with. You can say, yeah, that actually sounded like a movie trailer. That actually sounds like it's supposed to sound. And if you have a variety of styles and accents and type of skills you can do, make a whole bunch of demos. Really maximize your chance of fitting those skills, as I mentioned earlier, into those specific things your clients are looking for, as long as you tag them. I will say that as many times as it takes. So why multiple demos? I think this is something, for a long time, montages were sort of the way that it worked. Is you would mail out a CD or a tape or a recording of yourself, and you would say, I can do 5 different accents, I can do 5 different styles. Here's 3 minutes of me doing 10 reads so I can get each of those 5 things their own thing. That is no longer the way you should be doing it. Stephanie actually published a great article on our site, Stephanie Cicerelli, about demos and why you should be adding multiple demos. And I'm not going to repeat that whole thing, but her takeaway, ultimately the thing to learn from that is you don't want to limit yourself. Everything you're able to offer is a potential skill you can get hired for. Additionally, it used to be, you would upload as many demos as you need, isolate each one of those. It used to be that you would do a montage, right? The ability to upload like you can with voices, as many as you need to upload, you can isolate each one of those pieces of your skill set. You can show your silly side. You can do a cartoony thing. You can do a serious side without risking that, your client's looking for a serious voice and they have to listen to you do cartoons for a minute. They're not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. They can get right to the serious side and hear that great read, and that could be the thing that lands your gig. Sticking with those demos, make them short, make them sweet. You have 10 to 15 seconds if you're lucky. If you're in consideration, you might have 30, but you have a very limited time to impress that casting director or decision maker that is playing your demo. So it's going to be tempting, I think, for a lot of folks to show off a bunch of nuance and drag it out over a minute and really hit highs and lows and really show this flow off. You'll get your chance to do that when you audition, but for your demo, really trim it down. Give them the best few sentences you have available. Take that minute and trim it. That again works back to being honest with yourself and being able to grade yourself and learn how to make those changes. And you don't have to take it from me. I understand. I'm the community manager. I am the mouthpiece. You don't want to believe me. We asked a casting director for advice on making a great demo. That is also on the Voices blog. If you're looking for words from professional, she echoes so many of the things I discussed, like being quick, bringing yourself to the read, really, really, really important. Bringing those unique things that make you you, connecting with characters, and really trying to bring those motivations to life. So we've covered the search engine, we've covered demos, what should be in your demos, how to make your demos, where to get material for your demos. What is the next thing to make sure that you're standing out in search? And for me, it's a professional mindset. This is really important and something that I think a lot of people, they will sign up and they'll put their demos up and they will go a few weeks and not have any success and think, why isn't this happening for me? To me, that would be the same as moving to California and then wondering why you're not suddenly an actor. You have to be a professional. There are so many different types of people in this field with completely different skills, completely different traits, and niche styles that bring them success. They all have one thing, however, that they do in common, and that is they take this very seriously. This isn't something that you can just sort of fall into. It takes work, it takes training. Simply signing up and uploading something, it's not going to help you land jobs or attract attention. You have to be willing to work, to learn, to grow as an artist, as an individual. Consider yourself an artist. If you're listening to this and you're ready to go, start considering yourself an artist. Consider yourself a professional. I gave you a lot of information about the search engine, about the demos, about how to represent yourself. But the key that I cannot really give you help with is to consistently work on your craft, work on your skills, update your profile. Don't put in your demos when you're starting and then never touch them again. I know this probably seems reductive, maybe it even seems glib, but the biggest, boldest truth and the biggest key to doing better is getting better. You have to understand that this is a long journey and you're going to be, if you're good at this, doing this for years. And your voice will change and the things you're good at will change and you'll get better at some things. And there'll be some things that you decide it's not even worth trying. You will learn that and pick those things up and learn to specialize. Every time you record an audition, every time you record a demo, every time you sit in front of a microphone, as I am now, it's an opportunity to grow, the chance to get better at something in your career. If you're not satisfied with the results, take an honest assessment of your demo. Like really, truly listen back to your demo and say, if I was doing a movie trailer, if I was, writing a medical journal, if I was doing an audiobook, is this the voice that I want on my material? Be honest. And if it's not, figure out where you can get better. Figure out what you can do more. It's really all about that work. And also, updating your demo, updating your profile. If you've gotten better at an accent, if you put some work in at being more conversational, if you're getting a little bit more of that announcer voice, or you booked a few jobs in a certain category, but your demos are a year old, consider new material or a fresh clip or something recent. Constantly be working on that. Be working on yourself is truly, it's not a shortcut, but it is really the way to stand out. And if you want some words directly from some of the best in the world, we have a great post from our Voices Insiders, some of our absolutely top tier, most hired talent on how to stand out and market yourself in the digital space, because again, you are marketing yourself. This is a career. This is a profession. This is a craft. You have to be able to do that in a digital space where you are marketing yourself. Something that comes up in that piece over and over again, and I've said it a couple times today, authenticity is so important. Find a way to show people who you are in your demos, in your profiles. Make them want you to represent them and their work. I spoke today to a voiceover talent. She was a single mother of 5 when she started, and just the zest, the passion, the excitement in her voice for doing voiceover work. It honestly, to me, almost didn't matter as much what she sounded like, because she was bringing that experience and that love and that passion into her words, and it resonated in the way she talked. That is what people are looking for. They're looking for understanding of the projects, of understanding the characters they're building, of the things that they're building, someone who understands what they've gone through and can bring that into a voice. That's what steps people ahead. It's a common theme throughout this conversation. And another common theme has been the idea of showcasing your range and introducing clients to different things you can bring to the project. It stands then, logically, if you want to book more jobs, you have to have more skills. And the only way to add skills is to work on them and grow. And once you've achieved a little bit of success, if you've hit the limit for some of the types of growth you can do on your own, or you feel like you've hit a bit of a wall in terms of self-coaching, consider an acting coach, consider a voice coach, having someone else review your work, somebody who can provide feedback when you're in a rut, or even open you up to a new direction. Maybe you didn't know that you had a conversational style in you and you thought you were going to be all announcer voice, and they were like, actually, you're really good at that conversational style. A coach can help bring that out of you. That's really important and can help you find new things to pursue. So that is sort of the top level way that I would say that is best to sort of stand out in search. Again, to review number 1A, number 1, triple underlined, super black bold, as loudly as I can possibly say this to you without hurting your ears. Fill out your profile fully. Tag your demos. Get as much information in there as you possibly can, because those demos represent you in search, and you want folks to be able to find you in that search. Number 2, a variety of demos. Showcase your ranges. Bring yourself to those demos. Find a way to bring your experiences, to bring your voice, to bring your personality into your demos so folks can hear who you are. We'll get into this a little bit in the Q&A here, but I think there's a little bit of this idea that one type of voice has successful. And I think, that announcer voice, everybody, all the jobs will be that. It's just not the case. It's just not the case. There's so many different styles. There's so many different characters. There's so many different places that voiceover work takes you. You can be successful in a lot of different ways. You just have to be able to isolate those things in yourself that make you unique and make you who you are, that you can bring to a client that they will want to have represent them. So that is sort of the top line things on demos and profiles. And again, professional mindset. Be a professional, work on this stuff, want to get better, want to love it, want to improve, and be a more appealing sort of person that gets these sort of roles. That will help you go from sort of wondering why you're not having success to building your own success and building your own hope. And understanding as well, professionals also understand they don't book every single thing. I talked to somebody again today. They booked 1,000 jobs. They had also not booked several thousand more where they didn't get the job. So professionals understand that it's also a numbers game, and you're not going to be right for every single thing. I'm going to get into the Q&A here. We put this out on our social media channels. We have hit the half-hour mark. I'll take a sip of water first, actually. Staying hydrated, also very important for your voice and for talking for a full hour. We put out on the social media channels from the last week, looking for questions on these topics. Have some absolutely awesome ones as well. We'll be adding anything you put into the chat. This one comes from Cynthia on Instagram, and I have been a part of 3 of these office hours now. And I will say, Cynthia, this is the best question I have ever seen put into the office hours questionnaire. We just talked. I talked about tagging your things properly and your styles and your roles that you're going for and your tone and making sure that you're tagging everything so you're showing up in search. That is great from the clients, from the talent side. Cynthia asks, what's the most common keywords that clients use to search for talent? So on the other end, we know what you should put in your profile. What are the clients looking for when they're looking for talent? And this is a great question because I think it really helps break down some of the misconceptions about who and what voiceover is. So I went straight to the inside of our team. I got the details. I know exactly. I have the top 5 roles and the top 5 styles that clients use to search on our platform in the last year. Top roles. Number 1, believable/conversational. Number 2, genuine/articulate. Number 3, engaging and sincere. Number 4, informative and knowledgeable. And number 5, charismatic and confident. I know you can see a lot of crossover in those terms, but believable, conversational, genuine, articulate, engaging, sincere. People really, 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 really deeply want just a normal sounding conversation in their projects. That's the number one thing. Double, believable and conversational, double the amount of search of anything else. Genuine, articulate, half as much as believable, conversational. It is what more and more and more and more clients are looking for. So that idea that to book any of this stuff, you have to have announcer voice and speak in it, not true. You have to be somebody that can just believably be having a conversation. And I know that sounds very simple, but it's also very layered and very deep. But just to give you an idea of this is what people are looking for. And similarly, top styles. Here's the top 5 styles. Number 1, real person. Number 2, narrator. Number 3, spokesperson. Number 4, instructor. And number 5, distant. Number 5 is announcer. So that real person style, that real believable conversational style is what more booking agents and casting directors are looking for than anything else by far. It is not even close. They are double the number 2 on both ends. Believable, conversational, and real person is what most people are looking for. So that ability to articulate and just have a really casual conversation with material and really connect with it in a way that someone who is just speaking those words would, that's what's the key to success right now. These things obviously evolve and change over time, but as we currently sit in 2021, believable, conversational, real person is what is booking more often than not. Cynthia follows up with another one. For demos, is it better to have a demo that showcases several different voices you can do versus one vocal style throughout? I talked about this about 15 minutes ago, but just to rehash this, if you have a variety of voices or a variety of skills, a variety of accents that you can do, it is best to put them into separate demos. Those keywords, those specific skills, those are things that casting agents are looking for specifically. And when they're listening, they want to hear it right away. Burying it, even putting it 30 seconds into your demo, it's going to drastically reduce your chance it gets heard at all. That's just the fact of the matter. That's the cold, hard truth. If you have a specific skill, build your demo around that skill and then do another one around a different accent. Pump these out. Make 10 of them if you have 10 skills. That is by far the best way to do that. So separate all the way. You can have one, if you want to have one long showcase demo reel for your feature demo on your page that someone can go to that and say, darn, in 3 minutes they did a ton of stuff. That's well and good as well. But for search, to stand out in search, make sure you have a variety of demos folks can go to. Nigel with a question, will there be a trial premium membership on for a month on voices.com? Nigel, we do not currently have one at the moment, but I will say this, without being too inside in baseball or getting anybody who works here too mad at me. Our team is coming up with new campaigns and new ways to get people to experience what it's like to be a creative pro on Voices literally all the time. I know these folks, they are constantly trying to think of ways to get folks to experience what it can be like to work with us. I would say my advice to you, and anybody who's looking for something like this, keep an eye on our social media channels at all times, because we have promotions running there literally all the time. It's constant. The folks who work in that department work so hard. And also sign up for a guest account. Sign up and just take what you learned from me today and apply it and build a good portfolio first. By the time you've done everything I talked about, by the time you've fully filled out your portfolio, by the time you've done all your demos and tagged them and uploaded them, you're probably going to know whether you're ready or not to be a premium member. Like if you can go through all that and at the end be like, yeah, this is a good demo, this is a good profile, then you're probably ready. You're probably passionate enough about it to take that next step. And alternatively, if you're going through all that and you're uploading your demos and going through your profile and you're like, I don't want to do this, then you're probably not made for it anyway. So I think that a guest account is really designed to get you understanding what it is like to work with voices and what it takes to put together a proper demo. Nick's Picks asks us, jobs sometimes ask the VO artist to add music. And I believe I saw this as well in the chat, somebody asking about adding music. Stephanie put together a very good blog post about this, about choosing your demo music. She has a great resource for this. Honestly, at the risk of leaving one out, I can, off the top of my head, name half a dozen. YouTube Audio Library, Audio Jingle, Epidemic Sound, Storyblocks, Premium Beat, Soundstripe, Ben Sound. There are plenty of places to get royalty-free music out there, depending on what you're looking for. Admittedly, I do use YouTube all the time. I type in royalty-free music or royalty-free sound and put that in there. I know that's a really long list, but really, 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 there are a lot of different places you can go, a lot of different things you can do depending on your price range. And a quick point, sort of to address the one that was in the chat as well, on background music, keep it subtle, I think, is the key. I again, in a very short time here, I've listened to a ton of auditions, and it's easier for it to break an audition than it is for it to really make it, if that makes sense. It's easy to have background music that's either too loud or overbearing or doesn't fit with what the project calls for, and have that you don't even notice the voice then. But I've also heard ones where really subtle music and audio in the background can really enhance it. So I know that's hard to balance that, but just try to be subtle and really be selective in making sure that it fits the project you're applying for. Gail asked on Instagram, here's a good question. A bit of a tricky question, but a good question. Gail asks, where is the best place to start if I want to assess if my voice has potential? That can be tricky because, again, to the point I made earlier, there's a perception, I think, that one type of voice is what has potential, right? People think of truck commercials, or they think of barrel-aged whiskey, right? They really think that sort of tone is what books everything. That's what being a voice actor is. But honest to goodness, what really drives potential is having unique qualities to your voice. There are plenty of different characters. There are so many different performances. There are so many different types of voice work. So in terms of having potential, there are any number of ways to assess that based on what you want to do. I think the first question you should be asking yourself about whether or not your voice has potential is, can I create a unique sound? Is my voice squeaky? People want nerdy characters and side characters and young characters and old characters. Again, I spoke to a veteran actor today who has done, sports commercials and things. And he mentioned that one of the things he had to learn was that he wasn't going to be ever like a narrator. And maybe you can be a narrator, or maybe you can be, a small character or a mouse or whatever it is. If you have a squeaky voice, if you can create a unique sound, that is what gives your voice potential. And beyond that, learning to control your voice. Can you create adjustments to the way you talk, or can you change the way you deliver something based on notes and feedback? If I hear you do a read and I say to you, can you give me that with a little more life, or even that, a little more somber? Can you make those changes? That is almost as important as having any specific quality to your voice. So those sorts of things, the ability to really deliver the product and be intentional with what you're reading, is what really drives potential. So I know that is a little off of sort of maybe the spirit of the original question, but really that unique quality is what gives your voice potential to be a voiceover artist. Sia with a question: how do I join Voices? That is the easiest one I will ever get. Voices.com/sign up. Click on Find Work as Talent. Pick a plan. Boom, you are in. You are joining Voices. Pretty simple. A question from D Game Changer: how do I reply to jobs? I will link to a YouTube video on this. We have some great tips and help on the page that I will. It would be to just say it out loud is very clumsy, so I'll just pass along a YouTube video and some tips. But once again, as always, when in doubt, the talent help portion is the place to go for any sort of questions you have, such as that. Outlander asks, how long should I practice before I begin VO? There's two ways to take this. So I'll answer it both ways, I think. The first way, it's tough to answer this because I think similar to the potential question, there's no one answer for any one person, right? You could be in radio for years and have that be your training, or you could do a weekend course, or you could just fall into it. I think one thing I want to emphasize in this question is how long should I practice, is voiceover artists who have success never stop practicing. There is no, I practiced for 6 months and now I'm good enough to do it and now I'm a pro sort of thing. Just like athletes and musicians and screen actors, comedians, anybody else in any sort of creative field, to be a pro, putting the work in every single day to be better at voice work is really important. So you should be practicing basically all the time. Whenever you're in front of a microphone, it is practice. It was put greatly in that very way by an artist to me the other day, is basically every time they are recording anything, they are practicing, whether they are doing an audition or a read or just warming up. The other side to that, of course, is you are asking me how much you should practice every day before you do VO, and the answer to that one, about a half an hour of really solid warm-up exercises. We have some great resources on the Voices blog for warm-ups and practice, and about a half an hour of that should probably get you into the right state and get your vocal cords warmed up, and as well as doing things like being mindful, taking care of your voice, being hydrated for a good hour before you're ready to go. You don't want to come in dry and feeling like you're going to hurt your vocal cords, because again, speaking for a full day, or I have been doing for the last 47 minutes, speaking nonstop, it's hard on your voice. It's hard on your vocal cords. It's hard to enunciate. And it's hard to be in that mental space. So take care of yourself for about an hour before that. Ricky asks, do you offer monthly memberships that are not billed annually? No, unfortunately, at this time, we do not do that. But again, guest account, get inside the walls. The offers that come in is nonstop. We have folks always trying to get you and folks to join our team, because we are so happy to have any sort of talent involved. I can't read the name on this one, but they ask, what text can I read for my first experience with voiceover? As I mentioned before, we have a whole bunch of sample scripts on our website, dozens and dozens of them. Read them all. Record a bunch. Record yourself saying the same one a bunch of different ways. Really, really use those. They're very helpful. I think you can go through those and basically record yourself reading every single style. And then you should be able to, by the time you're done that, understand what you're not good at. Use those sample scripts. Use them, and make sure you're properly tagging them when you upload them for your demos. And use them as a way to sort of get in your own mind and coaching yourself and learning yourself if you're any good and able to sort of take it to the next step. Last question from Instagram. What is the best tip for beginner voice actors? Again, that's hard to answer. It's hard. But at the risk of repeating myself from earlier today, the number one by far, think about it the way the professionals think about it. Really, really, really be ready to think about your voice, listening to your voice, training your voice, controlling your voice. That's what makes you a professional. Be open to notes, be open to suggestions, be willing to learn. A really big lesson that a lot of the pros I talk to every week: be honest with yourself, with the types of jobs you should be looking for. It's really tempting. Again, as I said, it's really tempting when you're a beginner to want to land everything, to want to be a narrator and a soft drink person and a kid and old. It's just not possible to be the right sound for every single project. You have to understand the roles and the styles you excel at and set out to master those. That is what really will help you, is thinking like a pro, working like a pro, and continuing to really work on your craft. From the YouTube, Annie asks, is there anyone here using their phone to record? Oh boy. Listen, I hope not. No, listen, it is possible. We have a professional guide to voiceover work available on our website. It's possible to produce impressive voice recordings using nothing more than your phone. And there are steps you can take towards, reduction in the background, from wearing headphones, putting yourself, in a pillow fort or a blanket fort. And I think because, smartphones can be used to shoot really nice film, microphones are nowhere near that level on a smartphone. And it's safe to say you're really not going to be close to matching what pros will be able to do. If you're on the go and you have a mic attachment and you can do it, it's possible, and you can let the client know that you're going to do that if you're highly interested in the job, but you're currently away from studio. And if the voice is right for it, maybe your custom audition shouldn't be a huge problem. But again, you're also working with scores of people who are going to be in a home studio with a Neumann or a Sennheiser microphone and an audio interface, and their audio is going to sound primo. And the number one thing that are going to disqualify you from the running on some of these jobs is audio quality. If you can't get the quality audio, you're not going to land it. So I would say, if you're able to record on your phone really, really high quality, go for it. But odds are it's not going to be what you're going to use for your entire career. If that is what you're doing, I would look to upgrade pretty much as soon as you can. And the last question from Sherry: how do you tell voices to only send you jobs at the 90 to 100% level on Voice Match? My email gets clogged up. I only want those auditions. I don't believe that's currently available, but you can filter jobs by budget in your email notifications under account settings. Rest assured that the Voice Match system and our team of professional services and the insiders, we are doing everything we can to send you the jobs we are best suited for. Check out your email notification settings. There is a ton of stuff in there. Thank you, Sherry, for the great question. And thank you, everybody, for listening in today. I really appreciate all the time and everyone joining us this afternoon. That is it from the home office for Office Hours. I hope you're able to learn a little bit today about our search engine, how it works, how you can stand out, and what you can do to make your demos a little bit better. I hope those of you listening along today go out there and fully complete your profile, number one, as well as tagging those demos. Get everything tagged, get everything uploaded, get yourself in search, get yourself out there, get yourself working on your style, on your accents, on your work, on your voice, and thinking like a professional, the key to everything. That is it. My name is Andrew Zuber. I will see you on the community forum. If you haven't already been there, community.voices.com. If you're a Voices member, we'll see you on the social media. We'll see you all over the place. And we'll talk to you next month for a brand new Office Hours, the last Friday of July. Have a great weekend.